In the quiet village of Olorunco, where the river sang and the trees whispered secrets to the wind, a baby girl was born. Her name was Adunni. But from the moment she took her first breath, the village gasped, not in joy, but in shock. Her head was big, bigger than normal, so big that the midwife hesitated before handing her to her mother. "Ah, this one is a curse," the village elders murmured. Some claimed she was an omen of bad luck. Others said she was a punishment from the gods. Her mother, Aya Adunni, held her close, whispering, "You are mine, and I love you." But she feared what the world would do to her child. As Adunni grew, the village did not let her forget how different she was. Children ran after her, chanting, "Big head, can your neck hold it?" Even the prince, the most handsome young man in the village, laughed whenever he saw her. "Who will marry this one?" he scoffed. "She looks like a walking calabash." The village women would shake their heads. If only she was normal, she would have been a fine girl, they said. Despite the cruelty, Adunni remained kind. She helped old women fetch water, carried heavy baskets for traders, and cared for children with no one to look after them. But deep inside, she dreamed of a world beyond Olorunco, a world where she wouldn't be mocked for something she could not change. One day, a wealthy merchant named Chief Adioi came to Olorunco. He was a man of great influence, visiting villages in search of rare goods and hidden beauty. As he walked through the market, he saw Adunni helping a blind old man cross the road. Her kindness shone brighter than the sun. Intrigued, he asked about her. The villagers laughed. "That one? The girl with the big head? What could you possibly want with her?" But Chief Adioi saw what they could not. He saw a girl with a heart of gold. He approached Adunni's family and, to the shock of the entire village, asked for her hand in marriage. The prince sneered, the village women gossiped, but Adunni's parents, tired of the mockery, agreed. On the day she left, the villagers gathered to watch. Some shook their heads in disbelief. Others whispered, "She will only bring him shame." But Adunni did not look back. The city was unlike anything she had ever seen. The streets were wide, the houses tall, the people dressed in fine clothes. For the first time, she felt invisible. No one pointed at her, no one laughed. Chief Adioi treated her with respect. He took her to the best doctors, who diagnosed her with a rare medical condition that caused swelling in her head. For months, she underwent treatment. Some days were painful, but she endured. Slowly, she began to change. Her head reduced in size. But beyond her physical transformation, something greater happened. She learned to read and write. She walked with confidence. She discovered laughter, not the cruel laughter of the village, but the joyful kind that comes from being loved. Years passed, and one day, Chief Adioi asked, "Adunni, do you ever think of home?" She hesitated. Did she? The village where she had known nothing but pain? Yes, she admitted, but not with anger. She had forgiven them, even though they never deserved it. And so, one bright morning, she returned to Olorunco. But this time, no one laughed. She arrived in a grand carriage, her beauty undeniable. She stepped out, dressed in the finest fabric, her confidence unshakable. The prince, who had once mocked her, now stared in disbelief. "Is that Adunni?" he whispered. The village women, who had once gossiped, now wished their sons could marry her. Even the children who had chased her with cruel songs now stood in awe. She walked through the marketplace, and the whispers followed. But this time, they were not of ridicule. They were of regret. "She is beautiful," someone murmured. "She is graceful," another said. The prince stepped forward, smiling. "Adunni, you have returned," he said. "You look different." She met his gaze, unbothered. "I have always been the same, Your Highness. You were simply too blind to see it." With a warm smile, she greeted the villagers. She did not seek revenge. But as she walked through Olorunco, head held high, the people lowered theirs. For they had mocked what they did not understand, and they had lost what they never deserved. Moral of the story? Never judge a person by their appearance. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories.